Hey, what's up guys, it's Shawzo here, and this is Sanctuary Hills. And this is the series where I've rebuilt the entire settlement without using any mods. And what I've done is merge every episode together to make one big video. So this will be for new subscribers or old subscribers if you want to watch it all in one hit. This is where it all started with my mission to rebuild the Commonwealth. I hope you guys enjoy it. And we're going to be starting off with this house as it was the most favourite. And it's literally just walls and a floor, there's no foundations or anything. And it's probably the best looking house in Sanctuary Hills. So using the rug glitch, you can guess it's going to be quite a large blueprint, so I'm going to go into detail for this one. So of course I'm going to start off with the rug and a set of stairs, and now I'm going to do the massive platform. And yeah, it's quite a big one, but this is going to be the perfect size to fill the entire ceiling of the house. And of course we're going to chuck all those walls on top as well. So yeah, it goes across by 3, 4, 5, and then it goes down by 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to finish it off with these little ones. They do have a purpose, but I will be deleting them later on. But it's just to get the right length of walls in place for the rooftop, basically. And then we're going to get one of these metal curved ones. I'm trying to edge it on the corner until it kind of snaps away from it. That's when, like, that's the limit, it's on the corner. So we'll just straighten that up a bit. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty straight to me. So I'm going to build that across. I'm going to change each individual one to give it that scrappy look. And yeah, I think it's going to look pretty cool, these curved walls. And then over here, we're going to corner it off, building along. But this side's a bit of an awkward one because I want it to be a length of 2.5 walls. And to do this, you put down a couple of platforms, move this one across, and now I can place one inside the first one. The only reason why I have to do this is because of the awkward size of the rooftop. And yeah, this is like the perfect length for the depth of the rooftop, basically. And we'll put down another corner. And now we're going to start building the front of the rooftop now. Yep, so far so good. And now it's time to do the rooftop. Now I want to use these chunky ones because they stick out a bit. I think it would look a bit boring if you just had a flat rooftop on top. So yeah, I just want to make it look a bit scrappy. I was going to change them up a bit, but I feel like these will do. I tried using the cloth ones, but it looked a bit ugly in my opinion. I don't know why, but it's a little bit tricky getting these rooftops in. But in the middle, of course, there's a gap, but this is an easy fix. I'm going to use the flat rooftops, and you kind of have to look a bit down for this one for it to kind of get in there. And that gap later on might be useful to me. I might put some power up there or something. I haven't decided yet. Moving on to this side, this bit's going to be on the side of the house where that flat rooftop is. And yeah, for this one, I'm just going to wall it off because I'd look a bit weird with the curved walls on that side. But I'm trying to make a separate room to go on top of the flat rooftop. And it's basically going to be a shop where someone could rent it out from the people living here. The house itself will purely just be residence to the Sanctuary Hills. And yeah, that's pretty much done now. We can delete the little platforms because they were just used to edge it off a bit. And now we can pick up the whole thing. Now this is the fun part. So I'm just going to hold down A so I can pick up the whole thing. And we'll just simply drag it along. And it should place in there nicely. Try and straighten it up. I can see what I'm doing with the platform. And yeah, about there will do. Delete those stairs. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It actually looks better than I thought. I thought it'd look a bit weird with the curved walls, but it's worked out okay. So at the back of the house, there is a little bit of a gap, but I will be filling that up in a bit. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how well the rusted metal mixes with the normal metal. And because at the start I used different curved walls, it's given it a nice scrappy look where some of them look bent, some of them don't. And there's a nice gap on top of the rooftop there that exposes the chimney as well. But yeah, I'll probably use that to put power down. That is the rooftop finished now, but don't go anywhere yet. I'm just going to do a few finishing touches. I'm going to do something with underneath the shop. I'm going to fix up some walls, cover the paint a bit more. And yeah, try and make it look as scrappy as possible. I've got a load of different walls ready to throw onto the house using the rug glitch. And I want to do something different with the front door. I want to use this circle metal door frame, because I feel like it would go so well with the rooftop. And yeah, using the rug, I'm going to put it right up close against it. And it gives us one less job to do. I can just put a door in there, no problem. And on the left side of the house, I'm going to use 2 walls here to cover this entire bit. And yeah, I do want to wall off underneath the shop here, because this is going to be like storage for the shopkeeper. Again, this is going to be separate to the house itself. So we'll put a nice locked door on there. Finishing up on the rest of the house, just putting some rusty walls here and there. Putting down a ladder to the shop, and as we enter the shop, we've got that gap in the wall which we can easily fix. Just going to use a half wall. Have to use a rug glitch again though. And finally, I'm just going to stabilize the rooftop. Just put one on each corner. Not that it needs it, I think we'd be fine without, but just in case, we'll put some down. I'll be doing the windows when I decorate the place off camera, because I might do something different yet, I just haven't decided yet. And now it is finished. We're now going to move on to this house, and I've turned it into the Minutemen Centre. This is basically a hub where people can come and trade, and even join up if they want. So let's get into it. So I've made myself a rug glitch blueprint, and if you're a regular to the channel, you can probably guess that I'm quite obsessed with the rug glitch. I mean, it does everything, so what's not to love? So for those who don't know, I'm basically making a blueprint where I put a rug down with a set of stairs with this massive platform. And this is going to allow me to carry one massive piece and hopefully try and glitch it into the rooftop. And yeah, so it's platforms that go across 4 and then goes down by 3. And I'm going to be using these box cars this time, or train carts, whatever you want to call them. I'm purposely overlapping it a little bit going across the stairs because it gives me a bit of leeway putting it into the rooftop. I'll explain once we attempt it. So yeah, I'm keeping them different colours just to mix and match it, make it look nice and scrappy. But for these back ones, I'm only using the half ones because otherwise it's going to be way too long and they're going to be sticking out. I found out this length is the perfect length for this particular house. Again, mixing up the colours with the other side. And on the side here, there's an opening which I can fill up with a door, which is quite nice. You can open these doors, but that doesn't matter. We're not going to see it. Of course, it mixes up the colour even more, putting these doors down. And yeah, that's the blueprint finished. I'm just going to hold down A and pick up the rug. This allows me to pick up everything. I'm going to try and get it angled in there nicely. And yeah, because I've overlapped it onto the stairs, it lets me push it in a bit more. There's nothing more to that really, it just works. Yeah, I'm very happy with the placement with these. They're in a position that I want them to be. On the other side, you can see it's quite equal on each side of it. But unfortunately, there were times where placing the rug glitch, it would be slightly off. So an example here, it was a bit too far to the left. So it did take me a few attempts. It took me at least 6 times to place this now and again just to try and get the right position. But eventually I got it. And with the platform underneath, luckily I can put some walls up against the train carts here. And it's right up tight against it as well, which is good. Whereas this, there's no platform there, but you can literally sit it on the roof here and sink it into the train carts there. It's more easier if you have the walls back to front because they sink in a lot better doing it this way. And yeah, luckily I can just build the rest. I might do something different with the end one here, maybe a metal one. I might use this for a sign, so I don't want too much going on. I'm going to do the same with the other side. And yeah, as you can see the railings above on the train carts there. I might use them for like dangling some lights down or something. Might look cool. And moving on to the flat roof, I'm going to cover it up a bit more with some small pieces. Not going to cover it up completely, I still want to see some colour. It's nice to have a bit of colour because everything's going to look a bit depressing. I mean, it's the world's depressing anyway, so might as well. Colour's not going to do much, is it? But yeah, there's this door here and there's a bit of an opening, so I might do something with that a bit later. I'm not sure what, I don't know, you'll see in the tour later. And with the top, I've just thrown a bunch of junk on like I have with the others, just to make it look a bit scrappy. But yeah, overall, that is the rooftop completely finished. All that's left to do now is fix up the walls, put some wood onto the walls here and there, fix up some holes. And on the front of the house, where the little area is here, I might do something different here. I might wall it all off, but you'll see a bit later. But before we do all that, I'm going to stabilise the roof a bit because, yeah, we don't want the roof caving in. So I've made a few more blueprints just to chuck a load of wood on the walls, some small pieces and big pieces here and there. Now, I do want to block this area off, but these walls are a little bit too small. But these other ones that have a bit of a lip on top of them, these are perfect for it. These completely cover the gap. Placing it in the corner, it should fit nicely. Let's have a look. Yep, it's right up against the metal pillars there. These are perfect for this kind of build in this area of the house. I'm going to do one on the other side as well. Hopefully that places nicely in there. Line it up with that pillar. Nicely done. And of course the other side is a much larger opening, so I'm going to be using 3 of these walls, and this should fit in there perfectly. I think 3 walls are like the perfect size for this gap. I had to get rid of some rubber tyres that were in the way, but I've managed to keep the concrete in front of the armour workbench there. Yeah, that fits perfectly in there. Really happy with that. I want to do a nice seating area on this flat roof up here, so I'm simply going to put a ladder down to get up on. And I'm going to build a platform so I can put some barricades around it maybe. Just straighten that up a bit. So yeah, this is basically going to be a Minutemen station, so it's where people can trade with them, shop with them, fix some stuff up. I'm thinking of actually turning this platform into like a little cafe maybe, where people could go up and eat. But yeah, I don't want the settlement to be entirely about the Minutemen. I kind of want it to be a bit mixed. So I've basically given them their own house so they can do what they want within this house. Just finishing up some barricades, and overall it's finished now in terms of the structure. And with the next house, I've done something quite unique. I've actually put a couple of buses on top with a few foundations, and it gives it a really cool Megaton kind of look. I would say this was probably one of my favourites to do because of the unique look. Let's get into it. So I've gone ahead and made myself a rug glitch blueprint here. And I've basically put down a rug and a set of stairs and a massive platform. And it goes by 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then it goes down by 1, 2, 3 and 4. And it's basically a massive platform for me to put the buses on top. And the platform itself actually gives me a new ceiling so no rain gets in. And look at this, I can actually pull it onto the house perfectly. Of course, this will only work with this house because of like the height of which the rug was put down and the area. And yeah, let's go have a look. These platforms stick out a bit, but the bus will do the rest. I don't need them. As you can see, inside the rooftop, you can see that platform where it covers up the entire ceiling, which is nice. And yeah, I've put down the buses in a way where the distance is just perfect for them to sit on the edge. There were times where it overlapped quite a bit, as you can see here, but it was a simple fix. All I had to do was drag the back one back a bit, so that was an easy fix. For the sides of the house, I'm going to put down some foundations and try and make it into one piece. And using the platform that I've put down, I'm going to use that as a marker to try and get this foundation as straight as possible and level. So I can build up to the right here. That's a bit too much to the left, so I'm going to reposition it to the right a bit more. Yeah, without the platform that I've put down, this would be very difficult. It would take me a lot of tries, so the platform on the floor there is a good indicator where I'm going. And yeah, look at that, that's perfect. And we'll build over that way. And I want to keep everything parallel as usual, so I'm going to build outwards and kind of like build around because Codsworth is there, and I don't know why he's there, but he's in the way. And yeah, hopefully it levels with the other side nicely here. We'll build back. And yeah, look at that, perfect. So this just means that each side is parallel, so nothing looks wonky or out of place. I mean, it's a scrappy build, it doesn't matter if it looks wonky, but I don't know. I like my foundations to be parallel with like the others, do you know what I mean? Now I've hit a bit of an issue here. I do end up fixing it, so not to worry. But yeah, it's weird. This part of the roof just won't let me put a foundation in. Even when I delete the platform, it still wouldn't allow me. So yeah, we'll delete these for now. The front of the house is starting to look really good now. It's going to look even better later when I throw some wood on there and some decorations. But with the back, the foundations are not in a position that I want them to be. I want them to be similar to the front. So I want to stick them out a bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reposition this particular foundation, moving it back a bit so I can place a second one next to it so it kind of lines up with that bus better. Again, using that handy platform to get the same height as the other foundations. And we'll pop that in there. Yeah, that looks good. It's a bit too forward though. I want to move it back a bit more. Again, an easy fix using the platform. It's a little bit glitchy because you need to look up and down for it to try and sink in, but we get there eventually. We'll pop that back in there and this should do it. Yeah, that's perfect. That's the perfect position I want it in. And we're going to build through the bus because we can. Obviously we'll delete them once we're done. So we can do the other side. Keeping it all parallel. Now, of course, there's a gap on the side here. I'm hoping this will fit. And it does. Brilliant. That's what I love about Fallout 4. Like, you can just merge everything into each other, like, with as much freedom as you can. The other side is done, thankfully. We can delete these foundations now to show off that beautiful bus. Very happy with the back of the house now, similar to the front. And of course this will look much better with wood thrown onto it a bit later on. I also want to cover up the blue paint a bit because I feel like it looks a bit out of place compared to the rooftop. And speaking of the rooftop, there is a bit in the middle that sticks out, but that's going to be an easy fix. I'm going to basically just build some more platforms over it. I don't need to because I've got a new ceiling, but I do want to cover it up regardless. But before I do that, I want to make use of these buses. Now, you can't actually walk into the buses, but I want to make use of the space in there. And I want to put a couple of generators. Now, unfortunately, once they're in there, you can't get them back out, which makes it a bit awkward connecting stuff up. So, yeah, as you can see, it won't connect. So I'm going to use one of the small ones down here and connect this little one. And I'm going to connect this one with the little one. And now I can drag that in a position where it's hidden. And now I can put this in the bus as well. So we've now got power to the house. And I'm going to do the same to the other side. Put the little one down, connect that up with the big one. I might need to put more down later on because this might not be enough. But yeah, just a little smart way of getting some power. But yeah, I'm not getting those back again unless I delete the bus, which is not going to happen. And luckily I can put these single platforms all the way along. I know there's small gaps in between, but that won't be an issue. So I've just made a load of rug glitch blueprints, and this is going to allow me to just throw a bunch of junk onto the house basically. And this one consists of 4 platforms, with the first platform not having a wall because this one's a bit awkward. And this is going to go on the right side of the house. This was the only way it was going to work, by having the platforms this way. Don't ask, it just works. And we'll try and edge that onto there. That's perfect. We can delete these now. And now we've got a nice scrappy vibe on this side of the house. With the foundations on the front, I'm just going to put some metal pillars on just to give it a look, I suppose. There might be like a cool picture in between them. I feel like these foundations are lacking a bit, and it was quite hard for me to put a wall into these foundations. But yeah, overall, that's basically the build finished now. Now with this house, I've used the scaffolding set from the Contraptions DLC, and it gives it a really cool repaired look. I was really pleased with how this one turned out, and it's the security house right next to the entrance. So those wooden planks that you saw on the rooftop earlier are part of the scaffolding set, and the scaffolding frame here is going to be the foundation for those planks. So what I'm doing is I'm putting it on the corner of the rooftop, keeping it straight, and then putting it as low as possible. So as I go up here, you can see that back bit is just above the rooftop, and this allows me to place these wooden planks down right up tight against the rooftop. And yeah, it's quite a realistic look. It goes all the way over as well, which is handy, keeping it parallel. But of course, that's only a little bit of the rooftop finished, and it is quite hard getting that scaffolding frame in position. It might take you a few tries, but as long as you get it as tight as possible, then you're set for the rest of the build, and it should make it a bit more easier. But annoyingly, as you build along, you can't actually connect the scaffolding frame to the first one. So you're going to have to position these all separately along the rooftop. It's quite easy to do. You kind of just match it up with the pole on the top right there, and that helps you gauge what position you're in, what height you're in, and it does help massively. This also might take you a couple of tries, but not as many tries as the first one. But yeah, as you can see, it's the same position, same everything. I'm really happy with that. So I can carry on that rooftop on a separate foundation. And I've done this all along the front here. And we don't actually have to do it for the back. As it builds over, you can just connect up the scaffolding frames on the other side, so it's not a big issue the other side. And we will be deleting the scaffolding frames later on, because we're going to put some more wooden planks over these wooden planks, and I'm going to show you how I do that. But yeah, quite flat on the rooftop. Doesn't look like there's any gaps. I'm really pleased with how it looks so far. And I have to say, it is satisfying putting these planks down. It just covers the rooftop perfectly. Like, it really does feel like I'm realistically repairing this rooftop here. Just throwing a load of wood on top of it. Now, it is cool that I'm not even using any mods for this build. It just shows that you can create something really unique without using any mods. So I've hit a bit of a barrier here. These wooden planks don't connect sideways, but it's an easy fix. I'm just going to build some floor planks going along, and this allows me to connect them up. And you can actually delete the floors afterwards and they float. And that's what I love about Fallout 4 compared to Fallout 76. You can be very creative with your builds because a lot of stuff floats and you don't have to do these silly merge glitches all the time. It just makes life a little bit easier. And yeah, so far so good. There is a gap around where the chimney is, but I'm just going to throw down some rugs later on just to cover that up. But yeah, overall I'm really pleased with it. It looks quite realistic. I can delete these scaffolding frames now, so everything is floating at this point. But there is part of the rooftop that is still exposed. But it gets really easy from now on. You can actually place the same planks on top of the ones that I've put down. And they sit quite tight up against it, so this is quite an easy part of the build with the rooftop. And I just build it all the way along the front and the back side as well. And that's the rooftop, pretty much finished now. I mean, look at that. A realistic rooftop repair right there. I haven't used foundations. It looks like I've just thrown a load of wood on top just to keep the rain out. But now it's time to do the sides because there is a massive hole on the side here, so let's fix that up. And what I've done with this one is use the rug glitch. So I've made this blueprint right here. I've connected it all up. And you kind of want the staircase in this position, in this dip here. And you can see that the staircase is kind of halfway in the ground. As low as possible actually. So now I'm going to hold A and now I can sort of place it right on the edge there. Getting as close as possible. And then just edging it off till it goes green so I know it's tight. And there we go, that massive hole is covered up. And I can now delete that staircase and everything. That corner's alright, there's a gap on that corner, but luckily I can connect this slopey wall into it. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. So the other side looks fine, there's no holes or anything, but it does look out of place, so I do want to add some walls to it just to add some character. And I do want to keep the flat rooftop open because I want to keep that as like some kind of decking where I can put tables and chairs. So for the wall above the flat roof, I'm just putting some corner walls right up against it, just to add to it basically. And I'm going to put some stairs in the middle here. Luckily I can connect it up to those planks that I've put down. And that could be used if I need to repair the rooftop a bit more. Now with these floors, you can actually sink it into the flat bit of the rooftop here. And it can connect all the way along. It might take you a couple of tries, but it was quite easy to do. And this actually allows me to connect some railings above. So there's not actually any floors that you can see. You can just put down some railings onto the rooftop, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to put another staircase leading up to there. And yeah, this could be like a really cool little decking area where people can sit and keep watch of the entrance. So yeah, you've probably gathered that this house is going to be like for security and watching the entrance basically. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that, with how that looks so far. So now it's time just to do a few quick jobs, just fixing up the holes in the walls going all the way around. I'm going to keep a lot of the furniture for the tour later because I want to reuse a lot of it. And there is rubble inside the house which you can't delete. So I'm just going to block this bit off with some wooden walls because it just looks ugly and I can't get rid of it. So yeah, that's the build completed now. The rooftop on this house was pretty much the same as the previous one, nice and simple, but there's a different method for this one and it was slightly easier to do, and it's good to keep them different because it keeps everything looking unique in their own way. So yeah, what I'm going to do is build myself a large structure, and yeah, this one's quite an odd shape actually, but it looks pretty cool. But yeah, anyways, we're going to start off with this staircase and start building the floors. It doesn't matter where the staircase is for this one, but you want to build floors going 5 across, and then you want to build some floors going 3 down. All the houses around here are quite similar actually in terms of how many floors you need to put down. And we're going to finish off with the end with these small ones. This will be the perfect size for a new ceiling within the house. Now using the Far Harbor DLC, you want to use the barn set and use these rooftops. And you want to drag it slightly back till that gap closes, similar to a build that I'd done a couple of videos ago. and you just want to straighten it up on the edge here. So with this particular house, there is a massive hole within the middle of the rooftop. So for my roof tiles, for the left and right, I'm putting a couple of holes here and there just to make it look realistic. But underneath these particular ones, it's going to be sealed because that part of the rooftop is fine. And yeah, we're going to do the same with the other side. And the distance between the rooftops on each side is the perfect distance for it to sit nicely on top of the rooftop. It should literally just fit perfectly within it and look quite realistic. Now we're going to fill up these corners because these are going to fill up the side of the house. They do a pretty good job of it as well. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use these metal curved walls, but please make note the one on the right here only works. The left one you might struggle a bit. And I want to edge it onto the rooftops that I've just placed down ever so slightly, but not too tight. I'm going to try and straighten it up now. I can see clearly if it's straight or not using the edge of the floors that I've put down. And you want to drag it back ever so slightly. You don't want it too tight against the rooftop because what I want to do is build along. And yeah, there's a good example there. It was curving around to the left a bit, so I'm just going to twist it around to the right very slightly. And now I can build all the way along. And yeah, as you can see, we're making progress now. The curved walls sit flush across the barn rooftops with no visible gaps at all, so we can keep the rain out. We're going to do exactly the same for the other side, keeping it nice and straight but not too close to the rooftop. And by the way, both sides don't need to be exactly parallel. They can be slightly off. As long as they're in a similar position, it should work fine. And yeah, we'll build those along. And now you're probably wondering, what am I going to do for a rooftop? And because it's an awkward size, you can't put a roof tile in, so I'm simply just going to put some floors down. I'm going to edge it off so I know it's right on the edge. And it's quite hard to determine if it's going in a straight line, so the only way to find that out is start building. And as you can see, it's going off to the left a bit, so now I know to twist it around to the right ever so slightly. It might take a couple of tries, but you'll get it done eventually. And yeah, this should work now. Gonna mix up the floor panels just to give it a nice scrappy look. And yeah, there's no gaps underneath, so it's quite a solid rooftop in my opinion. It's edged off nicely there. And on the side, I'm just going to fill up this hole with just the one wall panel. We're going to fill up that other hole later because it's easier doing it on the actual house. And this side I'm going to cover up with a metal one. So we're obviously going to have no access to all this space inside, so we might as well make use of it. So I'm going to put a couple of massive generators down, along with a couple of connectors so we can spread the power capacity within the house. So yeah, I can put any lights or anything else within the house. This is probably more than I actually need, so... Now that's basically done now, so we want to pick up the whole thing, but with the rug glitch or using the stairs, it won't work with this particular house. It's quite annoying, but it's the only house that doesn't allow it. So what you want to do is move all the furniture and keep this particular corner free. And you want to delete this staircase and use the pillar glitch instead. And put it just on the corner on this square. And push it up into the floor just a little bit. And I'm now going to pick up the whole thing holding down A. Make sure not to tap A, you need to hold it down. And yeah, we're going to put this pillar in that corner that I said. This might take you a few times to get it in the exact spot you want it to be in. So I would advise saving it before you try this. It took me at least 4 times to get it in the exact spot I wanted it on the rooftop. Because as you can see, I want to showcase the old roof tiles coming through the new ones that I've put down, just to give it a bit of a scrappy look really. And yeah, the first couple of tries it will look wonky, but keep giving it a go until you're satisfied with how well placed it is on top of the rooftop. Oh, and just to let you know, the pillar that I used is from the warehouse set from the Contraptions DLC. If you don't have that, there are similar pillars in the Far Harbor DLC. But yeah, the chimneys are sticking out, which is a plus. But yeah, I'm going to fix up some walls now. There are a lot of holes in this house, which is a little bit annoying. But there's one particular hole around the side that I want to turn into a shop. Maybe a little weapons shop, but yeah, I'm going to give it a go. So I've got loads of different materials to chuck onto the house using the pillar glitch. Going to start with the metal wall set using this door frame, which is a circle. And I'm going to use this to house the window to make it obvious that there's going to be a shop here. I will be dressing this area up in the decorations later, so it'll look much better than it is now. And yeah, I always find this part of the build satisfying because the hard bit is done. We're literally just chucking a load of bits onto the house. Just putting in place the last wall. And that hole from earlier, we're just going to put a half wall in there using the pillar glitch again. And we're going to put a front door in. And we're going to be using this particular door that you can't put down on its own. So we're going to put it in a frame with a rug, delete the frame, and then hold down A so we can pick up the whole thing. And this should fit nicely. You're probably thinking a poor choice of colour, but I like the colour green. It's the theme of the channel, so why not? Here we got a working door now. With that all finished, it's time to move on to the next house. It's time for the most important house, and that's the Soul Survivors. And I just love the fortified look that I created with it. So let's show you how I do it. And you want to place a foundation inside the rooftop here, and you just want it on the right side of the window, and you want to put it just above the wall tiles. And I want the foundation to stick out the front as much as possible, so I'm dragging it back as much as I can until it goes red, and then edging it forward a bit so I know that's the limit. And now I can start building all the way along now, and as you can see it seems quite straight. But I've come across an issue this side, so placing a foundation it actually overlaps, and I don't want it to overlap, I want all the foundations to be within the rooftop. And as I start building back here, I'm going to come across the same issue. But I will be showing you how that's resolved. It's quite easy. Now let's just look at the progress so far. Now these big foundations on the rooftop, it does look ugly, I have to admit, but there is a way of hiding these foundations in a really scrappy way, but I'll show you that once we've finished the whole rooftop. Now coming back to that issue I was talking about, to resolve this you need to place down the foundation separately, and as you can see I'm just edging it to the right to see if it touches that foundation on the side there, because I want it as close as possible. And I'm doing the same thing as earlier, I'm getting it in the red zone and then sort of edging it off a bit so I know that's the limit. I'm hoping that foundation was straight, and yeah, so far so good. It's a good height as well to sink into that foundation. So let's build the rest of it. And yeah, I'd say that's straight enough. It doesn't matter if the rooftop is sticking out a bit because it's all going to be hidden. So a similar issue this side, it overlaps and I don't want it to overlap. So I'm going to delete a couple of foundations that I've already placed down just to give me some room. And we're going to place down a foundation again in its own position. Round about here, where you can see that metal plate, you want it on the right side of this foundation. And you can line it up easily as it goes through the metal. And yeah, it's lined up nicely with the other foundations there. So we'll start building the rest of it. Now this foundation won't go back in there, and I think it's because I'm building from down below. So if I get on the rooftop, it should be able to place back in there. Now these foundations that have been placed down separately, they don't have to be perfect. They're not going to be the same height or the same angle. As long as it fills the entire rooftop, that's all that matters. Now with this corner, I've come across the same issue and I can't fix this one. But I will be fixing that with the scrappy look I'm going for later. It will be hidden. I'm going to finish up on the roof now, placing the foundations in the middle. So now there's not going to be any rain whatsoever coming into this house. And I'm really pleased with how generous these rooftops are glitching through the foundations. Just finishing up on the last pieces here. And inside the house we have now got a new ceiling. And that's one of the great things about these foundations. You can create a roof as well as a ceiling at the same time. So now there's no more holes in the rooftops, we can place lights up there, some decorations. I'm now going to show you how I'm going to hide these foundations, and I'm going to be using the rug glitch. If you don't know what the rug glitch is, you place down a rug, put something on top of the rug, and then you hold down A, and you can pick up the whole thing. And what I want to do is place these walls along these foundations, and I've already got one set up here. We're going to do it the easy way, and we're going to cover the entire front of the house. And the rug glitch is also great for sinking things into objects. I'm going to be doing a similar thing as I did earlier, edging it forward till it goes red and then moving it back till it's green, so that's the limit. I can delete the staircase now, and just to show you, it's right up against the foundation and there's no gaps. And it's important to have the walls this way around because it allows you more freedom to sink it into the foundation a bit more. And yeah, overall it looks so different, it looks much better this way and it gives it a nice scrappy look. On the right side there's still some foundation that's showing, and I could easily fix that just using a single wall. And I'm going to finish off the rest of it. I'm going to do the back and the sides, but before we start on that I'm going to fix up this corner that I left earlier, and I'm going to be using walls to block it up, and I'm going to align it in a way that it makes a corner, just like so. And we'll delete those stairs, and there's still a gap underneath, but I figured I could just use flags to cover it up, and it does a pretty good job at covering it up actually. You wouldn't know there's a hole there. And I do want to make this rooftop look really scrappy. I want to make it look like it's made from scavenged parts. And I'm going to seal that rooftop as well. Luckily I can put some floors in there. Doing the back is very awkward, so what I did with the front I can't do with the back unfortunately. It just won't sink in properly, so I've had to do them all individually basically. It just makes the process a bit longer, but eventually it's sorted out. Yeah, I had to do it this way for most of it, but this side luckily I could do the whole thing. It's overlapping a little bit there, so we'll delete that wall quickly and we'll replace it with a new one and pull it inwards a bit more. And yeah, just finishing up, filling all the gaps where you can see the foundations. And yeah, as you can see, it looks pretty good. I've put a load of junk on the rooftop just to add to that scrappiness. I've just put a load of floors down and some rugs. I feel like it gives it a good look. Not that you would see the rooftop, but I just wanted to put some extras in there. Now it's time to repair all the walls outside and the windows to completely seal the place so we can make it livable again. You could use the rug glitch to sink a wall into the window, but I like using these wooden posts instead. And as you can see, they're the perfect size for this window and they don't conflict with anything, they go through the metal bars easily. And I'm going to be doing this for every window around the house. Also, I'm going to be turning some of them around just to give it a different texture. With the windows at the front, there is a gap underneath, so I'm just going to cover it up with different signs. Again, to add more to that scrappy look. Making sure all the signs are different. I'm going to go for a waffle one for the front actually. And on the other side of the front of the house, there's a small hole here. Again, I'm going to be using signs and they sink in nicely here as well. Going to use the same size for all of them, but of course I'm going to change them up a bit. It's okay to cheat in life sometimes. If you've got a hole in your house, just cover it up with a picture or a flag. The last bit of the walls is actually the worst bit, as you can see. I've put down a load of those pillars to fill up most of the space, and these pictures fit perfectly in this gap here. So again, I'm going to use 3 of them. And then I want to change it up a bit. I want to put a big frame that fits all of them in one, just to change it up. And it sinks through very nicely again. And yeah, that's that hole fixed. The outside is pretty much finished now, so we got to concentrate on the inside. Now, I want to keep the flooring as it is. I know some people make their own floors, but I want to keep the original tiles. But as you can see, there's no doors in this place, so we're going to concentrate putting some doors in, and then I'm going to fix up some walls as well. And again, using the rug glitch, you can only do it with this particular door. They're the only ones that you can put down independently. Now I'm going to delete that rug, and I've now got a working door. There we go. I'm not going to bore you doing the other door frames, but there is one door that I want to do with a lock on it, and that's going to be the bedroom door, because that's where I'm going to keep all my weapons, all my chems, and just the important stuff basically. Now it's quite tricky to put this one in here. You kind of need to put it to the right quite a bit, but I also don't want it to sink through the other side of the wall. I want the wooden frame to be very much inside the pre-existing wall. So moving it to the right the tiniest bit, I'm hoping that it's inside the wall. And we'll test it putting down the generator. I'm happy with how it looks so far. So we'll connect that up. Let's have a look. Yes, very nice. And the door slides across the wall nicely there as well. And there we go, it's 100% completed. I would say this is in my top 3 houses that I rebuilt in the Sanctuary Hills, just because it was really difficult to come up with a plan, and the end result was so satisfying. So I decided to turn this place into the Sanctuary shop. You can buy some clothes and some chems. It's a nice little district. I'm using the rug glitch again, but don't worry for those who are not sure about it. I'll explain a bit more after we've built this blueprint. And yeah, this one's quite an odd one, so you need to start off with a small square and then a big one, but it needs to be on the right side of the staircase. And then you want to build 4 along, and then you want to go 3 down. Quite similar to the last build I did, which you can see on the right there. And then you want to finish it off with these small squares again. These will be important, and no, we will not be deleting them later. They're very important for this blueprint. But yeah, we want to use these roof tiles from the warehouse set, and yeah, the warehouse set is from the Contraptions DLC. And they don't actually connect to the floors, so you just kind of drag it back until that gap is closed and just straighten it up. And then you build all the way along. And then we'll do the other side. You can probably see it clearly with this side. You just drag it back until that gap closes. It's as simple as that. And then you just straighten it up a bit. The reason why I've got the small floors in is because this is the perfect distance in between the rooftops for it to fit nicely on top of the house. So I'll just quickly show you how the rug glitch works. You simply pull it in front of the staircase and hold A. This allows you to pick up the whole thing and get it into places you can't really get it into. But there is another method. In the warehouse set, you can use these pillars, sink the first one in the ground and then the second one on top. And then you do the same thing, pick it up. But with this one, you can adjust the height. This way it's probably more easier, but for this particular house, I've already sorted it out with the rug. And you want to place it in between this lamp and mailbox I found. And yeah, you can get it in there quite nicely. It's probably easier using the pillar glitch instead of the rug glitch, but I like to make things harder for myself all the time. But yeah, I just want to sink it in, still showing the metal coming through the rooftop. And yeah, as you can still see the old roof tile sticking out of the new one there. We'll have a look at the back. Yep, the back is all good. And you're probably wondering, why didn't I just fill the entire rooftop with these roof tiles? But as you can see, it's just a bit too long. So we need to think of something else for this one. And I'm thinking of using a scaffold set just to plonk on top of here. But you need to do it in a way that it fits nice and flat on top of the rooftops we've just put down. And I also want to preserve this window sticking out on the rooftop. That's going to be quite difficult, but I reckon we can do it. As I said, I'm going to be using the scaffolding set, which is also in the Contraptions DLC. And I'm going to plonk it on the edge here, just so I know it's central on top of the rooftop. And then I'm going to climb up, and then I'm going to click on it again to pop it up, because that would have been too low for the roof tiles. But now I can build over, and I'm going to build the little squares along, so I can build the stairs along as well. But you may come across an issue where one square won't go in, so you just have to simply adjust this first one here. It might take you a couple of tries to readjust, but it's a quick and easy fix. But it should work now. We'll just build these along. So far so good. And we'll build round to the other side. The little squares I'm putting down, they will be deleted. This just allows me to build the stairs along the roof tiles, because you can't build the stairs next to each other. You can only do it this way, unfortunately. I'm also going to mix and match them just to give them a different look. There's only 2 different types anyway, so... And yeah, now we can delete these little squares. And it's technically all floating, but obviously it doesn't look like it because it's nicely sitting on top of the roof. And we'll plonk a little square on top of here to connect it all up on top. And building through here, just for the moment, I want to get it on the edge here just to try and match the other side. But I'm going to delete these quick and just ever so slightly drag this back, so it's still very much in the same position as the ones behind me. Drag it back in a little bit more, because as you saw, it was overlapping a little bit. So yeah, we can build the stairs down on this side. I think 2 squares will probably do it, because we don't want it to collide with the top window on the rooftop here. Put the last one in place here. And yeah, so far so good. It's looking really cool so far. All that's left to do is fix up that really broken rooftop where the window is. But we can do it. Let's give it a try. And all you got to do is simply put down a big floor, surround it with other floors, and this will allow you to step it up another level. And we'll delete the ones on the side here. And then we'll go back to the scaffolding floors, and we'll just place this on top of the 2 that we've just put down. This puts it at a much higher position to match it with the railing on top of the higher bit of roof. But yeah, the only difficult thing is trying to match the same position as the scaffolds that we put below. It's quite easy, it's quite close to these ones, so I can kind of see. And we'll just move it to the right, the tiniest bit. And yeah, this should do it. Yeah, I think we'll do it 3 along. I think that'll be enough. And we'll delete the ones underneath. And I think I'm going to change the middle one to something different, because we don't want it to look all the same, do we? And now we can put the stairs down, and it should clip onto the front of the window perfectly. And just build that all along. We'll keep them all the same for this one. And yeah, look at that. We fixed up quite a broken bit of the rooftop. I'm really happy with this one. I might do something cool with the little peek-through window there. I might put some lights in there or a cool sign, if I can anyway, if it will let me. But yeah, overall I'm really happy with it. You can see underneath that the metal is connected, so it doesn't look like it's floating. It literally looks like I've kind of nailed it into the roof. So just a few little things to do now. There's a massive hole on the side here, but that's going to be an easy fix. The other side, there's not much wrong with it, but it still looks a bit out of place, so I'll probably put something on there as well. But yeah, I've made this wall here with some corners, and we're going to be using the pillar glitch this time. And again, you sink the first one into the floor, the second one on top, and then you grab hold of the bottom one, holding down A. And yeah, you can just drag it along, putting it at whatever height you want. And this is quite good because you can do it in quite tight spaces without using the stairs. Someone actually mentioned the pillar glitch in the comments section on one of my previous videos. And yeah, I completely forgot about this pillar glitch. So yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. It does make life a lot easier rather than using the rug glitch. The rug glitch is good to a certain extent, but for most things, the pillar glitch probably does it all really. This one's quite hard, but luckily enough, I can do it through the flat roof here. Can't really see what I'm doing, but I got it right eventually. I'm gonna fill the gap with the flag there. And yeah, the final thing to do is just patch up some holes on the walls and cover up the paint a little bit. I've got a load of walls ready to go, and this time I'm actually going to use the pillar glitch, as you'd probably assume it's much easier. And yeah, I'll kind of have to anyway with this house because I need to sink it into the ground for it to work. Because these half walls are a little bit too tall, it collides with the rooftop, so yeah, you kind of have to put it down a lot. Moving back onto the build, it's completely finished. I've done what I wanted to do, everything's patched up. So you're probably wondering, building all of this, what if my budget maxes out? But there is a way around this without using any mods. What you do is simply go into your inventory and find a load of weapons and just drop them all. And once they're on the floor, you go back into build mode and then you just start storing all of them. Make sure you don't scrap them, you need to store them. And as you can see, the size bar is slowly going down. And yeah, just keep repeating that until it goes down to 0. It's time to move on to one of the broken houses, and I'm going to do something really cool with it and use it for security. This one's going to take a little bit of patience. You preferably want to use this set of stairs, and you want to edge it onto the corner of the house. And then you want to build one of these small floors across, and make sure that that gap is as tight as possible so it looks like it's attached. As you can see, the gap's a little bit too wide, so we're going to delete that floor quickly and lower it down a little bit. It's going to take you a few tries to get the stairs in the right position, but once you hit that sweet spot, everything else should all come together. It's looking good so far, but it needs to be pushed forward a little bit. So we'll do that. Let's see what this looks like. I've pushed it forward a little bit too much, so we put it back a little bit, and this should do it. Yeah, that's perfect. Looks like it's attached. And now what we can do, we can basically build all the way along, and this should be it for the rest of the build. I'm going to do a lot of extras in this, so don't go anywhere yet. And there is a limit of how many floors you can put down because of the broken part of the house. It kind of blocks it. But it should build along the existing wall nicely. And we'll check this side. Yeah, that's on the edge perfectly. And hopefully we can build all the way back here. Annoyingly, we can't put a floor in this bit, so I'm going to have to build around it for now. But those floors don't work, but these ones do for some reason. I thought I'd mention that. And yeah, it builds all the way back, but there is a small gap at the rear of the house, but I will be fixing that up. But I do want to sort out this gap here, which is annoying me. The only way of fixing this is putting a separate floor on top of this one here, and then kind of like building over it. I'm trying to line it up here just to keep it straight. And yeah, we'll just build along and this should allow me to build across. There's going to be like a little bit of a step, but anyone could walk over it, it's not a problem. And we'll delete these. And I think I'll delete the one on the end there because we don't need that one. And yeah, as you can see, there's no gaps at all. It literally looks like it's attached. And the other side looks good as well. But yeah, at the back, as I said earlier, there is a gap and you can't really feel that because it will overlap the house. So I thought I'd just use some pillars basically. Keep it all stable. I was thinking of using rugs to lap it over the gap there, but it wouldn't look that realistic, would it? And for the rest of the build, I'm just going to mix and match some barricades because, of course, this is going to be like a security post. So we need a lot of barriers. Also, I just want to mention I have done the same thing with another broken house where that big tree is in the Sanctuary Hills. That one has a bit more leeway. You can be a bit more creative with that one because you can put down more floors and things like that. If you want to see what that looks like, check out my Sanctuary Hills tour video. It was my previous video actually, so yeah, go check that out. Also, I would have shown how I did the other broken house, but I feel like most people would use this particular house for security as it's next to like the main entrance and the bridge. So far so good, it's coming together nicely now, but there is so much that we can do, and I'm going to cover up a lot of the holes on the existing walls with the classic pillar glitch. I mean, is it a glitch at this point? I feel like it's just a feature in the game because obviously Bethesda has known this glitch for a long time and they've purposely kept it in, so it's basically a building tool within the game. And I'm going to carry on these junk walls that are on my existing wall going around the whole of the Sanctuary Hills. But you need to use the pillar glitch again for this one because you can't sink it into the ground without this. Whereas if you select the whole thing, you can basically sink it into the ground. And yeah, as I said, we're going to carry on that wall all the way around until it hits the house. Changing up each individual one just to, yeah, change it up a bit. And there's a little gap in between the hedge and the house here, so we're just going to use the one. And that should do the job nicely. And I'm going to put a few decorations here and there, why not? I'll probably do a lot more off camera, but I just want to show you guys a bit of it. I do like to put some odd bits and pieces onto the junk walls just to make it look a bit more scrappy. I like putting pictures here and there because you can sometimes sink it into the existing wooden pallets. You can do it with most kind of walls actually. Some pictures work, some pictures don't, but yeah, as you can see, it sinks through nicely. I'm going to put a couple of signs here and there. Actually, I'm going to put a couple of signs in the middle here. That looks like a good spot to put one. And we'll put one up here as well. And on the front, I'm going to put a couple of lights. I always like putting these lights on these little bits here because I feel like they were already lights before. And here's a cool little trick for you. Using the pillar glitch, you can actually hide generators. So you want to connect up one of these power pylons. And yeah, put one of these pillars right up against it. And yeah, you can sink it into the ground. But make sure not to sink it too much. You want that power connector just to go above the ground so you can connect it up to things. And we'll do the same thing with this power pylon. We can also sink this into the ground. And we'll put it next to the lights here so we can have power. And yeah, there we go, we've got power. And there's no signs of generators, which is pretty cool. On the top here, I'm going to put some scaffolding stuff ready for some turrets. These will do. And we'll put a different kind of floor on top. Going to do the other side as well. And just to mention, the scaffolding stuff and the pillar that I was using are from the Contraptions DLC. So yeah, if you want those things, go ahead and get that. It's quite cheap and it's worth it in my opinion. The turret looking out on the outside and the inside is just as important because yeah, you might get people breaking in. And yeah, what we did at the start of the video, I want to do the same at the back here. And I just want to use just the one floor because I want to put a cool spotlight on top of it. Because obviously you need some lighting for the security post because you're not going to be able to see at night, of course. And yeah, I'll probably do the same thing with the generator next to it and just connect it all up. And yeah, it's basically all finished. I'm quite happy with this. Cool little security post. Didn't take long to do. Welcome to my 100% completed Sanctuary Hills tour. It's now fully decorated with a lot of extras. And of course, all I've used is the pillar glitch and rug glitch, so there's no mods that have been used whatsoever, with the exception of a few official DLCs. So welcome to the Sanctuary Hills, and this entire build is completely walled off, and you will see more of that as I show you around. So yeah, let's enter. So this is the first house on the right, and this is purely used for security. So this is the first house you come into and like you get questioned inside. And how I fixed up this house, I basically just used scaffolding boards from the Contraptions DLC. But yeah, this is the first house. This is where security sleeps and eats. So it's a bit of a work/living area. They've got a nice kitchen. And yeah, I've put loads of items in each house. I've even gone as far as putting carrots in buckets and yeah, just small little details. This is an office area. This is just a toilet and there's like a gun bin back here as well. Yeah, not a lot for the first house as it's just for security. So I wanted to preserve this broken house here and turn it into a defense post, and that's exactly what I did. So I've built a platform on top of it so it looks like it's all connected. And yeah, coming around here, it extends all the way back here and we've got more turrets looking out in the wasteland. And I've boarded up behind it as well. Stuff that you can't see, I've added some stuff here and there. And yeah, I'd say I didn't really want to delete it really. I felt like I could make use of it and here it is. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. Let's make our way down. So yeah, this is building number 3 and this is just for residents. There's a cool shop on the side as well. But how I fixed up this one, I've used the Far Harbour DLC, I think it is, and used the barn rooftops, as well as the curved metal walls, which are just standard within the game. But yeah, similar to the previous house, I've chucked some walls up against the existing wall just to give it that scrappy look. And yeah, there's a little hole in the house that I wanted to keep, and I've turned it into like a cute little gun shop. And yeah, someone's running the shop here as well as living there. I think it's quite obvious that there's a shop there, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, let's have a look inside. So yeah, this is purely just residents, so nothing exciting, it's just people living in here. So I've made it look like there's people living in here basically. Just put some food on plates with knife and forks next to it, drinks on the sides. Around to the right here is like their own little workshop. This is the bedroom in here, and that metal table that you can see on the floor, that was actually already there. It's a set of drawers that's fallen over.
I've actually kept a lot of things in Sanctuary Hills that I haven't deleted. Like in here, this is the shop area. You've got a cool desk area that was already there with some cardboard boxes. So yeah, I don't really delete stuff in builds like this. I want to preserve as much as possible and kind of build around it, build around the environment that was already there basically. So yeah, that's that house finished. Let's move on to the next. I've put a cool little meat stand here because next to this meat stand is a cool little gladiator arena. So I thought it'd be a good touch to the streets here. Put some meat in the bathtub there. And yeah, this is the gladiator arena. This is like the main entertainment for the whole of the Sanctuary Hills. And I've connected up some like mutant cages right up onto it. So when you release them, they can battle it out. So yeah, let's have a look. I've put a load of sofas, chairs around the hole looking down into it. And yeah, I've chucked a load of meat in there, just little bits and pieces to make it look like there's been some battles going on. Yeah, it looks pretty cool in there at night, I'm not going to lie. And yeah, you will be seeing this Sanctuary build later on because I will be doing a very quick nighttime tour. So yeah, look forward to that a bit later. So yeah, this is building number 4. And yeah, this is one of my favourites and probably one of the best videos I've done on YouTube so far. A lot of you guys love this one. And how I repaired this one, I didn't use any foundations. It's purely just walls, rooftop and a platform. And yeah, this was possible using the rug glitch or the pillar glitch you could use. And yeah, pretty much all these houses that I'm showing you were possible using the rug glitch or the pillar glitch. Yeah, this one's quite a cool one because there's like a shop on the side that someone can rent out. There's no one in here at the moment, but when a scavenger comes through, they can come in here and just sell what they want, basically. So yeah, pretty cool little shop. And yeah, the people living here get caps for the person renting out that shop, basically. And yeah, this is another normal residence. Of course, they've got that business on the side of their house. Got loads of bits and pieces on the table. This particular house was quite empty when I was decorating it, so there's a lot of new things here. The kitchen was already here, of course. This is the bedroom. And I've used the rug glitch to kind of merge 2 beds together to make it look like a double bed. It works pretty well. And I've kept the bathroom quite original. The medical box I didn't scrap. Yeah, I've got my little signature decoration there. Fish in the toilet. A couple of single beds in here. So yeah, just a normal residence. I like this one. Pretty pleased with it. So that's that building done. We'll move outside. I've put odd bits and pieces on the streets, like a couple of tables and chairs, put a load of junk on there. You'll see more of that as we go on. And this area, I've walled off this complete area as well with a gate. And there's a little security post as an extension onto this house, because it's quite necessary. Yeah, even the gardens are all walled off. The entire build is walled off, so security is pretty good. So with this particular building, this is a shop. 2 shops in fact. So you've got a clothing store and a medical store. And yeah, there's shop windows. Around the back is quite cool. They've got a little meat rack. And I fixed up this house similar to the first one, but I've kind of merged the barn rooftops in. I think they're the barn one. No, they're the warehouse barn rooftops. And yeah, I've planked the scaffolding boards on top. But yeah, there's a video of me repairing this house as well, so check that out. This was quite a complicated one, but it was fun to make. So yeah, people can come in here and shop, as well as the window shop. And they can see what they want to buy. They've got some clothes in here, some hats. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this one. One of my favourite buildings. A couple of displays there. They've even put a changing room. And I've thrown down like a few hangers just to make it look a bit messy, a bit realistic. There's a little waiting room as well. And yeah, the second half of this house is the medical area. No one really goes in here unless they have to. This is mainly window shopping. Yeah, I've decorated it with relevant items. Back here is like the hospital room. Yeah, someone's not really doing too good at the moment, so they're having a bit of a kip there. This is the chem bin. I was going to put plants in there, but I thought I'd just chuck a load of chems in there, like used chems that we're not going to use anymore. So that's that one finished. Moving on to building number 6. And this one's pretty cool. This one's called the Minutemen Centre. And I don't really want this entire build to be all about the Minutemen, so I've given them their own building. And it's a bit of everything, really. You've got like a shop, you've got a little general store, a little cafe, a jail. And how I fixed up this one, I've put those like train cart things on top. And then I've chucked on a load of metal and wood using the pillar glitch. And yeah, I'm really happy with this one. It brings a bit of colour into the build. Our main food supply is behind this building, so I've just put a load of new plants back here. So yeah, let's have a look. So the general store is at this window. And Sturgis is supposed to be behind that counter, but he's fixing for some reason. Even though I've fixed up the whole place, he's still fixing. Like, are you trying to insult me? But yeah, anyways, this is the cafe. This is where people go up and eat. Cool little open sign. And yeah, this door can close over the open sign. So when we're closed, we'll close it. When we're open, we'll open it basically. Yeah, cool little cafe area. Put some meat on plates and things. So yeah, let's have a look inside. A lot of the stuff you see inside is quite original. I've kept a lot of tyres, a lot of rubble on the floor. So I've pretty much not deleted anything in Sanctuary Hills. I've kind of preserved what's not like in the way kind of thing. In here's the shop, of course. Put a load of junk on the shelves, the table. Yeah, pretty happy with this. And I don't know if I've mentioned before, I've actually rug glitched the fire pit into the oven to make it look like it's on, which is a pretty cool touch. I've done it with every single house actually. Put some things in the fridge. Not a lot, I know. Maybe I should have put more in that. And round here, you've got the power generator inside the icebox. You've got a Minutemen office to discuss missions out in the wasteland. They've even got a jail. I've put a load of numbers on the wall just to make it look like someone's going insane. But yeah, this door should be shut, so we'll just shut that for now. So yeah, that's that building finished. Moving on to the Sole Survivors building. And yeah, this is my home. With this particular house, the rooftop was very awkward. I couldn't really fix it in a realistic way. So I've just used foundations and kind of thrown wood onto it so it doesn't look like there's foundations. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's got that nice scrappy look. I've even put a load of stuff on the rooftop. You wouldn't really know that there's foundations there really. And instead of putting like a proper garage on the side, I've just put a couple of broken wooden doors there just to give it that nice scrappy look. And yeah, you can actually open them. I purposely used the broken ones just to give it a cool look. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. So yeah, let's have a look inside. Again, with all the houses, I like to keep all the furniture how it was originally. I don't know what, I just like doing it that way. It's like a bit of nostalgia for the character, I suppose. I've put some food on the table, put some saucepans on the hob there. Yeah, just lots of little bits of detail here and there. I filled that shelf quite nicely. Happy with that. I've got a little display case with a load of valuables. Round here is just storage with some tools, switch for the power. And I haven't put anything in here. I've just put a cool little sign, war never changes. I thought that'd be a nice little touch because that's what your character says at the start of the game. Put a couple of tools here and there. Don't want to have it completely empty. This is Sean's room, and I've purposely not put any power in here, and everything's in its original position. All the furniture is original. And yeah, I've kept the personal items. So yeah, it's quite a personal room to the character. Thought it'd be a nice touch to the house. At the end of this corridor, I think there used to be a wardrobe, so I've made up my own. Put a door and a pillar. It's worked pretty well. This is my bedroom. Even kept the broken picture on the wall. And yeah, little small details. I've even put like a lit cigar on the ashtray, which is pretty cool. The bed was pretty broken, so I've replaced it with a new one. And yeah, I've even rug glitched like a proper locked door onto this door frame, so I can lock it for when I leave the house. Like the rug glitch and the pillar glitch is just so handy. I can't get enough of it. Around here is a dedicated spot for dog meat. It's got some nice grub there. Got some grub there on a barbecue myself. Also, using the Far Harbour DLC items, they're very good to clutter areas that are quite empty. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. So this is a building that I've made myself, and this is the armory. Pretty cool little concrete building. I've also chucked a load of bits and pieces onto it using the rug glitch, just to give it a cool look. Because if it's just bare concrete, it might look a bit boring. Yeah, very happy with this one. So let's have a look inside. But before we go inside, let's have a look on top. And I didn't really want to make it empty, so I've made it look like we're working on traps and turrets and flamers and things like that. I've chucked like a load of spanners and blowtorches up here. Not that they're actually repairing it, but it's part of the roleplay, do you know what I mean? So yeah, moving on downstairs, we'll have a look inside. And there's an actual gun shop on the front here, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's not just a shop, it's a shooting range as well. I've put up some bottles that you can shoot. And up there where you can see like the Nuka-Cola clocks, and I've crossed it off with those little blank signs that you can put up. So yeah, and I put a couple of displays up just to shoot some mannequins. Load of ammo on the table ready to go, and I've put a cool little leaderboard. Mama Murphy's on top for some reason, I don't know how. And yeah, there's some stock for the shop. Yeah, the rest of the building is just stock for the shop basically. So yeah, pretty cool little building. Moving on to building number 9, and yeah, this one's a little bit different. I've crammed in a bus underneath the flat rooftop there, and it's basically like a little room where you can rent, similar to the second house I think I showed you where they can rent out a shop. This house was the same as my own house with the rooftop, so yeah, I've just used foundations again. I have attempted to try and fix it up realistically, and it's too difficult, man. Yeah, in here is where you rent the room. It's nothing special, it's very cheap, it's just a couple of mattresses. I've purposely made it untidy, like a load of bottles and things. So yeah, let's have a look on the actual inside of this house. Again, this is a normal residence. There's quite a lot of residents here. And yeah, you've probably noticed there's a lot of people, and I think like the max amount of settlers you can have here is 10. And I think I've got around 30. And how I've done that, of course I'm on PC and I've used console commands just to spawn like a load of NPCs to wander the Sanctuary Hills. But yeah, that has nothing to do with the actual build. But yeah, another question coming up. You're probably thinking, how have I built something so big without maxing out the limit? But there is something you can do without using any mods, which I have done. So what you want to do is just get like a load of weapons, big ones ideally, and you need a lot of them to make it quick. And you basically just drop them all over the floor, go into build mode, and then store them all into your workshop. Make sure you don't scrap them. And this will make your build bar go down very slightly. And yeah, just keep repeating it until it goes down to 0. And then yeah, you basically got unlimited budget for whatever you want to build. But be warned, the bigger you build, the lower your FPS will get. But I feel like I've been lucky with this build. I think it's just the limit. And yeah, as you can see, another seating area on the streets. Of course, it's walled off behind there. A lot of the hedges have done most of the work for me, thankfully. Yeah, this is the last residential home. Again, I've used foundations, and yeah, I've used different walls to make them look all different, and I've like decorated them differently as well. But behind the house, it's strictly off limits because it's actually behind the junk walls. And I want to carry on like the hedge barrier going all the way across the Sanctuary Hills with my junk walls. So yeah, there's no access behind it, but I've decorated it to make it look nice. And yeah, again, I've put like a load of stuff on the rooftop just to give it that nice scrappy look. I've done it with all the foundation rooftops actually. Yeah, let's have a look. This is the last residential house. The chair, the table and the TV were originally there, as well as the kitchen and the dining table. Everything else I've just put a few extras here and there. I can't get enough of the fire pit in the oven. I think it looks so cool. But yeah, just your average residential home. They've made a bit of a mess with the decorations. Like there's cups of noodles on the floor. But it's going to happen, isn't it? I can't really argue with it. They've got their own little power armor room. And yeah, for pretty much everything regarding decorating the houses, you've got to use the rug glitch a lot. And with this room, a lot of the stuff in here was original. Like you saw that crate leaning against the drawers. You've got a crate there. I've purposely not deleted any of these things just to add on to the decorations on the inside. I've used the pillar glitch to put these mattresses onto the broken bed because I thought that'd be a good idea. Like try and keep the broken frame and just chuck like a couple of mattresses on there. So it just looks like we're realistically reusing things. And yeah, I do like putting shops next to homes. This one's a pretty cool one. This is where you can get your hair cut. And there's a little table with like some scissors and brushes and things. This is their stock room back here. So yeah, it's just a little business for the people living next door to this. Moving on back outside, I've just put like a load of candles on the tree just to give it a cool look at night. And I've purposely kept this truck and I've put like a shop on top of it. There's no one there at the moment. There should be, but I think they've just wandered off somewhere. Yeah, I thought I'd use it to my advantage and put a cool shop up there. This is another security post, broken house which you can delete, but I've purposely kept it. And yeah, I've just decorated the whole place, but this one's quite cool because I've put a lift next to it. And yeah, we go on up. And yeah, if anyone wants to defend the Sanctuary Hills, which this person is, you can have a look at the wasteland out here. And I've even decorated on the outside again, places where you can't really see. And yeah, if I want it to be realistic, I kind of have to block it up because there are some massive holes on the side of this house. Yeah, pretty cool security post. Let's go back down and check out the last two buildings. So the building on my left is a building that I've made myself, and I've used all different types of walls just to give it that scrappy look. And yeah, as you can see, it is the Sanctuary Hills Hotel. This is where anyone can come and stay. This is where most people would stay. Everyone living in the proper houses are people who were here when they first built the place. So these are just for people who just want to come and shop around and want to stay basically. So for a single bed it's 100 caps, for a double bed it's 120 caps. And here's the rules: no fighting, no jet, no smoking, no peeing on the floor, and no noise after 11 p.m. So yeah, quite a funny rule list. So we don't tolerate any behaviour like that in this establishment. But yeah, this is a cool little reception. This is where most of the new people will come in. Cool little bar area. There's just a bit of everything at this hotel. I've put some storage underneath the stairs. Round here is a cool little living area, a couple of chairs, a TV. Got a couple of Nuka-Cola machines there. Yeah, this took me quite a while to decorate. I'm quite happy with this one. Kind of just got lost into it. And up here is where the beds are, where you can sleep. So the little cabin on the right is the double bed. Quite a clean bed actually. And the room next door are two little singles. So yeah, these are 100 caps a night. And the double bed is 120 caps a night. And yep, you can go around the outside. It's a cool little sitting area to look out on the river. And it goes all the way around. Yeah, there's no doubt people are going to be doing jet out here at some point. I can't stop them. So yeah, that's this building done. Let's move on outside and have a look at the last one. And yeah, as you probably saw, I've cluttered the streets with just random bits and pieces, just boxes, bathtubs, chairs, you name it. And yeah, this last building is the Sanctuary Bar. As I'm from England, I would definitely say this looks like a really cool apocalyptic pub, because I've added like a couple of cool pub signs up there with some lights. So yeah, let's have a look inside. This is building number 12. I've put in a very long bar. There's a few bits and pieces here that were already here, like this little broken display case, the shelving there, all of the kitchen, the crate. And there was one particular bar that was already here as well, and I've just basically extended it. Yeah, quite a messy looking bar, I must say. I've kept the little concrete block there. There's a barrel there that I've kept. There's also like a load of scrap in the corner there that I've kept also. I don't know if you guys agree, but I really do think it adds to it. I mean, this is the wasteland. It's not going to be absolutely pristine. There's going to be a couple of junk bits here and there. But yeah, it's not like I'm leaving dead radroaches on the floor or anything. Like, there is a sense of hygiene. I mean, says the one who loves to leave fish in the bathroom all the time. Well, this bathroom in particular is the little jet den. So yeah, a little bit confusing. The hotel don't allow it, but the bar allows it. This room here you can rent for the night in case the hotel is full. I think that's like 50 caps a night. That other bedroom I showed you was like the owner's bedroom. So yeah, let's move on to this security post out here, and this will probably be the last thing I show you. And then yeah, we'll move on to that nighttime tour. So yeah, I've used this little playground area and just hooked up some ladders, some scaffolding bits, and yeah, turned it into a cool little security post. Now there is an opening here which is a risk to security, but I have put down two forms of defences. You've got this little playground area with the turret and a little security post. But overall, in front of the entire build, there is like this forest area, and this whole area has been walled off. And it wraps round all the way around to the hotel onto the existing bush. So yeah, there's nothing coming in. And if they do break down a junk wall, they've got that turret to deal with. So security's not that bad, I'd say. But yeah, that is the daytime tour finished now. Now I'm going to show you a quick nighttime tour. It won't be as long as what I've just shown you. We're just going to have a quick walk around the streets. But yeah, thank you very much for watching so far, and I hope you enjoyed the nighttime tour. Here it is at nighttime, and I have to say, look how cool this looks. I've purposely put down some lights to glow up all the houses, and I've only done it to the front of the houses because I didn't see the point of doing the back. But yeah, let's have a look. Nice clear sky tonight, and the first thing that welcomes you is the Sanctuary Hills sign that's lit up. And yeah, as I said, I've kind of lit up all of the buildings. as well as the gladiator arena. And yeah, I used the little spotlights that you can put on the floor where you can kind of aim it to where you want. Also, I would like to know if you guys think I should have put more stuff in the streets. Personally, I think I've put enough. There's a lot of small details, like there's a lot of benches, a lot of boxes, table areas, even a couple of shopping stalls. I just didn't want to put anything too big in the streets, as I was quite worried it would overshadow all the work that I've done on the houses. Oh, and also I would have spawned a lot more NPCs, but the frame rate was not having it. Like, even if I put 5 more NPCs in, it really affected the FPS. So with everything going on, the building, the NPCs, I feel like this is the absolute limit of which my computer could handle, comfortably anyway. But yeah, that is the tour finished.
Thank you very much for watching this video, and for those of you who are new here, consider hitting that subscribe button because there's plenty more content to come. And thank you very much for my loyal subscribers that have stuck with me from the beginning. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.